A very good afternoon to all respected IEM and UEM family members. Today, Professor Dr. Seema Sharma from the Department of Physiotherapy of UEM Jaipur will be speaking on the topic Special Education and Role of Physiotherapy in Special Schools. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. A very good afternoon to all the respected IEM and UEM family members. Today, I'm here to share a very unique and challenging education system with you. Before I start my topic, I have a question for all the teaching faculties. If one day, one parent with her daughter who is 12 years old and having some kind of problems, that is she is having speech problem, she is not able to understand our language, and her IQ level is below 40. Means, I repeat my question, if one day one parent came to your house with her daughter who is 12 years old and she is having some disabilities like speech problem, mental illness, and also not able to understand our language. And they request you to educate her child. Then what will be your response? Either you may accept this proposal or you may neglect this proposal. So what will you do? Let me show you first my slideshows. Wait. This is it visible now, sir?
Yes, it is visible, ma'am.
Okay. So, well, in my opinion, 70 to 80% will not accept this challenge. Why? Let's try to find out the question. Or you can say, I will try to explain the reasons with the help of these contents. So the contents are first, who are special children? Second, an introduction to special education, its purposes and objectives. Third, factors that may impede human development. Fourth, acts and policies. Fifth, individualized education program, that is also known as IAP. Sixth, role of physiotherapy in special schools. So, first is, who are special people? They include a child who has intellectual disability, that is mental retardation, hearing and visual impairment, speech or language impairment, orthopedic impairment, complex disorders of brain development, and last is traumatic brain injury. Before I go thoroughly, I will tell you what is the difference between impairment, disability, and handicap. As you see in my screen, there is a difference between impairment, that is loss or abnormality of psychological, physiological, or anatomical structural function, then disability, restriction in ability to perform a function that may result from an impairment. Next is handicap, disadvantage that results when a disability or impairment limits or prevents the fulfillment of a role. This means that disability is a condition caused by an accident, trauma, genetics, disease, which may limit a person's mobility, hearing, visions, speech, or mental function. Next, impairment, the state of having a physical or mental condition, which means that part of a body or brain does not work properly. And last is the handicap. It is the effect of a disability which focuses on an obstacle experienced by a person due to a restriction in environment. That means that handicap and disability, they both are closely related to each other. Handicap is a disadvantage and difficulty, while disability is a condition and inability. Okay, now what is intellectual disability or mental retardation? It involves general mental abilities that affect brain functioning such as learning, problem solving, judgment, and daily living activities. Next, hearing and visual impairment. Hearing impairment means hearing loss. That is a result of sound signal not reaching to our brain. And visual impairment, it is vision loss. That is a decrease in the ability to see a certain degree that causes problems not fixable by usual means such as glasses. And there also come one more term, that is blindness. Well, blindness, it is the state of being unable to see due to injury, disease, or genetic condition such as cataract, that means cloudy vision, tumor, abnormal growth of body tissues, and glaucoma, that means optic nerve damage. Okay, next is speech or language impairment. These can exist together or by themselves. For example, speech disorders like difficulty with forming specific words or sounds correctly, difficulty with making words or sentences flow smoothly like slurred, stuttering, or stammering speech. Like if they want to speak one word, they will speak like if I want to speak my name, that I will speak like this. So this is known as slurred or stammering speech. Okay. Next is orthopedic impairment. Orthopedic impairment includes problems like cerebral palsy, polio, muscular dystrophy, etc. Cerebral palsy means it is a condition due to abnormal brain development, often before birth. And polio, it is a disability and life-threatening disease caused by the polio virus, which spreads from person to person and can infect a person's spinal cord, causing paralysis. Paralysis means that they can't move body parts. Okay, moving on to the next, that is complex disorders of brain development. It includes problems like autism. Autism is actually a serious development disorders that impairs the ability to communicate and interact. Next is traumatic brain injury. It includes sudden fall from bed, downstairs, gunshot violence, sport injuries, etc. So, moving on to the next content. Now, special education, its purposes and objectives. Before I go thoroughly in this topic, let me tell you about some history about history of special education. So, uh, history of special education begins with the 18th century, and Before that time, the person with disabilities were often mistaken as being possessed by evil powers or cursed. But in the 18th century, which is also known as Enlightenment period, influenced special education in many ways. That means in this century, there was a man whose name was Charles Michael Lepe. He founded first first special education school in France, and later in 20th century changes were also made in, in concerns with the law of implementing special education in schools. That means this century is characterized by the implementations of laws to assure that persons with disabilities would have their rights to education guaranteed. Now, next is now we will okay. Next is the special. Now, what is special education? So, special education is instruction-based program that is specifically designed to meet the special needs of the children with disabilities. That means it is a form of learning provided to the students with exceptional needs, such as students with learning or mental abnormalities or having any physical issues. Their responsibility is to teach and interact with children who have variety of disabilities. Next is the purpose and objectives. First is to provide appropriate educational program related services to each child with a disability requiring special education from age 3 to 12 years. Next, to encourage parental involvement and understanding of special education progress. Third, to provide appropriate vocational services to disabled students. And last, to provide healthy and friendly environment in and outside the school for each disabled children. That means special education purpose is its main focus is that to facilitate access to an appropriate education regardless of the disability to help the students from age 3 to 12 years old so that they can achieve academic and life success. Next, family involvement in planning and decision making is very important because families know their child best.
Uh, Ma'am, suddenly you are not audible. Can you hear me? Hello. Yeah. Kindly bear with us. Suddenly, there has been a power failure at Madam's place. She is again getting connected through mobile data. So kindly bear with us for a couple of minutes uh, till she joins back. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Your slides are visible. You
Hello.
can, yeah,
Yes,
you are audible as well. You can make it full screen and resume your presentation, ma'am.
yes, sir. Sorry for this inconvenience.
It's okay, ma'am. It's okay.
Okay. So,
Yeah, please carry on.
okay. Next, yes. Thank you. Okay. Now, next is family involvement in planning and decision making is important because families know their child best. So, making sure that the student receives appropriate support, they can so that they can fully included in classroom. Because family is the first teacher to each and every child. That is why their involvement plays a major role for especially disabled children. Okay. Next is okay. Now, next point is factors that will impede human development. First is genetic factors. Genetic factors mean sometimes sometimes disabilities and other conditions are inherited. Next is environmental factors, toxins in the air, water pollution, poverty. And next then prenatal, natal and postnatal periods. First is the prenatal period. Prenatal means before birth. Before birth, and the reason behind this is poor nutrition. Second is the drug use, alcohol or smoking. Next is natal, that means at the time of birth. First, and the reason is premature. Okay, before I go thoroughly, first let me first explain you what are the genetic factors. Okay. Well, genetic factors, there is no doubt that genetic factors are also responsible for disability. How? If, for example, if a mother has mental issues or also having a mental retarded problem, then there is a major chances that she will give birth to a child who is also having the same factors which was suffered by her. Okay, so this is called genetic factors. Next is environmental factors. Environmental factors means like see, air pollution also impacts brain development and can trigger asthma and childhood cancer. Children breathe more through their mouth than their nose. So this allows pollution to be inhaled more deeply into the lungs, where it can cause permanent damage. As you also see nowadays in COVID-19, the children are getting more affected by black fungus. So one of the major reasons is this also. Okay. So okay. Next is prenatal, which means before birth. Before birth, poor nutrition, drug use. Natal, at the time of birth. First is premature. Premature. What do you mean by premature? Premature, it is when a baby is born too early, means before 37 weeks of pregnancy have been completed. Well, a pregnancy normally lasts about 40 weeks. So the earlier a baby is born, the higher the risk of death or serious disabilities. Next is loss of oxygen, then long labor. Okay, long labor. It may happen if baby is big and cannot move through birth canal, or baby is in abnormal position. Normally the baby head down facing your back. And what are the risks of long labor? Well, prolonged labors can be dangerous to the baby. It may cause no oxygen level for baby, or abnormal heart rhythm in the body, or uterine infection. There is postnatal, postnatal, that means after birth. First is the early separation of placenta. Now, what is placenta? Placenta is basically, it is an organ through which, sorry, it is an organ through which carries a baby. Sorry. Okay. Placenta, it is an organ that develops in a uterus during pregnancy. It provides oxygen and nutrients to a growing baby. So when placenta separates from inner wall of uterus before birth, then it can deprive the oxygen of baby and cause heavy bleeding in mother. Okay, and so when placenta separates from inner wall of uterus before birth, then it can deprive the oxygen, and it may also cause heavy bleeding in mother. Next is head injury. It happens when excessive pressure is applied to baby's head during delivery. That is why whenever any lady go for delivery, always there is a what do you say? You have to go, or you have to recommend or prefer a very experienced gynecologist, because if you don't follow a very experienced gynecologist, then then there is a chance that this factors will occur during your delivery time. Okay, next, acts and policies. So if you think your child or a child needs special education services, you have to follow some legal processes to make it happen. There are so many acts and legal policies which are designed by government to protect the rights of disabled children. But I will emphasize only the three major acts. First is the IDEA, that is stands for Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. What is this act? It is the nation special education law. To qualify this services, that is IDEA services, child must have disability and special education to make progress. And it is this first now, this idea was first passed in 1975. It provides rights and protection to disabled children. Disabled children was earlier known as Viklang, but now we will not tell them Viklang. That is, the Viklang word is now changed with the word Divyangjan. Okay, so person with disability is also known as Divyangjan. Okay, what are the purposes of this act? First is FAPE. FAPE means free appropriate public education. This FAPE includes students 3 to 21 years old, which are having a have right to attend public school without cost to parent. Second, students are provided An individualized education plan. FAPE is mandated for students in preschool, elementary, and secondary school. And last, LRE, that is least restrictive environment. That means students are provided an appropriate education in the public school in the least education environment. That means that FAPIC is one of the most important legal rights for the person with disability. It requires schools to do to provide special education to meet the unique needs of disabled child. For example, if a child is having reading issues, then they might be taught with a multisensory reading program. It also FAPE also provide related services that may include like physiotherapy and speech therapy, psychological counseling, and even transportation. FAPE also provide these services at no cost, and it also provides accommodation and modifications that help child learn and participate in the general education system. Next. Now, who is eligible for this education? To qualify, any child must have a disability that falls under one of the 13 categories that IDEA covers. First is the autism. What is autism? As you see in these pictures, autism, it is a condition, it is characterized by difficulties in social interaction, verbal and non-verbal communication, and repetitive behavior. Like they will avoid eye contact, they will not respond to their name. If you smile at them, they will not give you a smile, and they will repeat the same phrases again and again. There is also repetitive movements like clapping their hands, flipping their fingers, etc. Next is mental retardation. Mental retardation is just it is the intellectual disability we learned earlier also. Next is deaf blindness. Deaf blindness, it is a rare condition in which an individual has combined hearing and vision loss, thus limiting access to both auditory and visual information. Next is the emotional disturbance, means it includes problems like stress, anxiety, mental illness, depression, etc. Then hearing and visual impairment, that is hearing loss and vision loss. Then there is the multiple disabilities. Well, multiple disabilities, it is a term for a person with a combination of both sensory and motor disabilities. For example, deaf blindness, that means hearing impairment with visual impairment, or hearing impairment with mental retardation, or visual impairment with mental retardation, or with speech problem. So these problems comes under multiple disabilities. Now is the learning disabilities. Learning disabilities like dyslexia, dyscalculia, and other learning disabilities. Well, you all have seen the movie Pare Zameen Par, which explores the life and imagination of an 8 years old child whose name was Ishan. So dyslexia, that movie is based on this condition, that is dyslexia, right? So it is a learning disorder that affects ability to read, spell, write, and speak. Next is dyscalculia. That means It is a math learning disorder which includes symptoms like difficulty counting backward, slow to perform calculation, etc. Then is speech or language impairment. Okay. Moving on to the next act. Uh,
Yeah, ma'am, I think few slides jumped. So you may kindly
yes.
go back to the slide in this format and do a sharing again. Yeah, this is the slide from here. Uh,
Okay. Next is Right of Person with Disability Act 2016. Well, this act was enacted in December 2016. Yes, this act, it provides the appropriate government which shall ensure that the person with disability or Divyangjan enjoy rights to equality, life with dignity, and respect for his or her own integrity equally with others. So these next is the salient features of this act. First is the responsibility has been passed upon the appropriate government to take effective measures to ensure that the Divyangjan enjoy their rights equally with others. Next, 5% reservations in seats in government and government-aided higher educational institutions for person with benchmark disability, means specific disability. Next is 4% reservation in government jobs for person with benchmark disabilities, and then creation of national state fund to provide financial support to the person with disability. The act provides penalties for offences committed against Divyangjan. And last, it is designated special courts are designated to handle cases concerning violations of rights of person with disabilities. Okay. Next, now this is the certificate, and like we are having Aadhaar card. This is a unique disability ID card for the disabled children. And in India, this certificate is usually issued by medical boards, that means the chief medical officer, constitutional in certain government hospitals. It is like our Aadhaar card. It is also an important document for person with disability because it entitles the holder to get benefits, facilities, and right of PWD. Now next. Okay, last act was Rehabilitation Council of India, that is RCI. So this act gave the council the following powers. First, to keep the register of the qualified professionals who give training to persons with disability. Next, to give standardized syllabi for persons with disability. Then, to take actions against persons who offer training to persons with disability without proper qualification. To provide training to special teachers, to bring about standardization of training courses for professionals dealing with persons with disabilities, and to promote research in rehabilitation and special education. This act is actually responsible for standardization of curricula on curriculum, research and development, training and recognition of institutions offering various courses, or rehabilitations of disabled and registration of rehabilitation professions. As you seen on my screen, there is written that National Institute for Empowerment Person with Multiple Disability. Actually, this is an Indian government institute which provides services to person with multiple disabilities. It was actually it was established by Government of India within the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment in Chennai, and it provides services such as physiotherapy, occupational therapy, uh, speech therapy, and special education. This institute is the first of its kind in Asia dedicated exclusively to the person with disability. And then is the special degree, that is B.Ed, and special B.Ed or D.Ed or special B.Ed. And means if someone want to pursue of this special education, then RCI provides three types of courses. That is special bachelor's in special education, diploma in special education, and master's in special education. And after we complete this degree, RCA registration is mandatory. After then only you are eligible for to train the disabled children. Okay. Next. Okay. Next is individualized educational plan. That is IEP. It is a written legal document which describes special education services for a child with special needs. It acts as a way to measure goals and progress. Students' present performance level. It is valid for 1 year. Each year, a new meeting is held to discuss. That means IEP, it is a written document that developed for each public school child who is eligible for special education. And first, it measures the long-term and short-term outcomes, which is determined by students' educational level of performance. Next, it will give us the details how the child is currently performing in school or in the in the house as well. And next, IB is checked regularly during the year, and after 1 year, if the performance is not up to the mark, then changes are made to improve students' results. Now, what are the benefits of IB? For students, it helps to determine the student's requirements caused by his or her obstacles and clarify how to fulfill these requirements. That means it prepares individuals to live independently. Next, for parents, it provides equal rights to both sides about the child's needs, what and how these will be provided, and what consequences may be encountered. Which means it works as a communication mediator between school staff and parents. Now, for the teachers, it helps teachers to determine the progress for their purposes and allow them to function as an assessment tool. Sharing classroom environment with people from other consultants outside the class allows the teacher to develop new alternatives. Means special education educators will work with the many professionals from different fields like occupational therapist, physiotherapist, psychologist, etc. And special educators are part of a team often referred to multidisciplinary team. The team role is very crucial because it helps determine the direction of a child's personal journey through special experience. Now, what is in the IP? How the students in doing in school now? Annual goals and how progress will be measured and reported. Short-term objectives, any changes to be made in curriculum, teaching methods. That means what is an IP means what she or he will learn in the next year and what is the final progress he or she obtained during these years. Or short-term goals means steps to reach the annual goals. And then is assistive teaching technology means like crutches and also wheelchair for physical disabled, large print books for low vision, talking calculators for dyscalculia. These are the assistive devices. So these assistive devices assist Divyangjan to increase their overall capacity to work, accomplish specific tasks, or participate in activities. As you see, first is yeah, like assistive devices. Like first is the braille. We well, most of us are heard of this term braille. Uh, Braille is the system that enables blind and visually impaired children to read and write through touch. Viewers, you are seeing on my screen also that adding a dot 3 makes the next 10 letters and adding a 6 dots to that makes the last 6 letters. So this way the blind people will educate or communicate with others. Okay. Next assistive devices like text to speech. Uh, Text to speech. It is a software which is designed to help children who have difficulty in reading standard print. Difficulty learning disabilities like dyslexia or dyscalculia. Okay. Next is sign language. Okay. Sign language, which was used by visually impaired children, sorry, hearing impaired children. So these sign language, it is a means of communication through bodily movement, especially of the hands and arms used when spoken communication is possible. Next. Okay, now what is the role of physiotherapy in special schools? So, well, it can be a common misconception that physiotherapy is useful only to people who are recovering from an illness or injury. But however, physiotherapy is ideal for supporting people with disabilities to participate in physical activities that are interested in. Additionally, physiotherapists have supported people with disabilities by helping them overcome their mobility changes. Now, physiotherapists are part of the therapy team that are available to see children in schools. Physiotherapists work throughout the year with occupational and speech therapists as a part of multidisciplinary team with other professionals and school staff. So, what is the role of physiotherapy? The role of physiotherapy is aimed at helping the children to develop and maintain their mobility skills, joint movements, muscle strength, and motor skills. Means the role of physiotherapy is to take care of children with motor impairment and issues like respiratory control or coordination problem or postural problem, etc. So physiotherapy also support a person with disability in some ways, which may include conducting a physiotherapy assessment to look at how someone moves around their home and community in their daily lives. So, and this assessments includes how disabled children body functions such as strength of muscle, joint movements, fitness or balance. Physiotherapy also prescribes mobility equipment to help people stand, walk, or move around more easily or independently within their home, school, or local community. They will also tailor exercise which help them to improve their bodily functions such as strength of muscles, to improve someone's strength, muscle strength, mobility, skill level, flexibility, and fitness. Physiotherapists also support people with disabilities to access sport or recreation opportunities in the community, such as team supports, local community classes, or gym programs to increase social participation, physical health, and well-being. And in case of problem like autism, pediatric physiotherapists can help children with disabilities to improve their movement and function in the bodies caused by the problems with muscles, bones, or the nervous system. The pediatric physiotherapist has specialized knowledge and experience how children develop and acquire physical skills. So, physiotherapist is concerned with the accessing, treating, and managing children who have a general delay or disorder of movement, which may be improved or controlled. Now the question is, what do physiotherapists do in schools? Work with students directly on motor and safety skills to improve mobility and independence. Or you can say they will physiotherapists work with staff to facilitate the students' participation in class activities and ensure staff safety. And their work in special schools is to assist students access to their curriculum, extracurricular activities, their classroom, bus, school, and school grounds. Now, who is referred to physiotherapy? The following criteria applies. There is a delay in achieving their milestone. Next, they require physical rehabilitation following injury, medical condition, or surgery. They demonstrate difficulties with balance and coordination that affect their academic achievements and activities of daily living. Now, how does the physiotherapist work with school? At the appointment, the physiotherapist carry out an assessment, which I told you before, and write a report which is given to the parents, guardians, and school. If required, they will carry out training assistance to carry out the program. They provide equipment which allows the child to mobile, for example, walking frames, wheelchair, crutches, quadripods, etc. They give advice on posturing management, which means that physiotherapists are basically their main role is to uh, cope up with the barriers which was facing by disabled children. Okay, they promote interaction with peers and they provide safety and prevention policies and activities and procedures like good body mechanics and health promotions and all. Now, now this is the Better India. Well, this is the app which was at present launched in Himachal Pradesh by Sapphire Foundation Therapy on Wheels. It is a actually it is an application which gives helps to the disabled children during this COVID-19 situation. So, but actually, it is a problem mobile therapy clinic that supports children with special needs. This was launched to help them carry on their therapy sessions despite the COVID-19 lockdown. And this app or this team include all the professions like physiotherapists, professional therapists, speech therapists, and also others, psychologists or any psychiatrist. So The services are provided to the children as young as 14 months. Okay. Okay. Now, when is a disabled child discharged? Now, the child will be discharged from physiotherapy according to discharge criteria for the services. First is no further intervention is clinically indicated. They have been on review for 1 year and maintain their level of ability. Next, the child or parent no longer wish to receive physiotherapy, like in COVID-19 situation. Uh, it's not possible to give physiotherapy services to disabled children. So most probably parents will not, they will no longer wish to receive physiotherapy services. Discharge procedure will be carried out in line with educational policy regarding animal abuse. So this is basically the physiotherapy role in special needs, and without these days or without physiotherapy, uh, there is not any chance to hope any kind of recovery in regarding to physical disabilities or any mental disabilities. That is why physiotherapy is a basic and big golden key for Divyangjan people. Okay, so coming to an end, as you see, these three inspirational men. First is the Stephen Hawking, who is, well, Dr. Hawking. He also used assistive technology to compensate for mobility and speech difficulties. And he is actually, he died. He died at the age of 76, and the cause of death was like motor neuron disease. Neuron disease means it is a kind of neurodegenerative diseases that wears away at nerve and muscle function over time. So we use a specific type of wheelchair and to speak and to mobile. So he used a thumb switch and a blink switch attached to his glasses to control his computer. And by squeezing his cheek muscles and blinking, and an infrared switch was activated, and he was able to scan and select characters on the screen in order to compose speeches, surf the internet, and send an email and speak through a voice synthesizers. Okay. Next is Nick Vujicic. He's well, he was born with an extremely rare congenital disease known as phocomelia. Phocomelia is characterized by absence of legs and arms. So born without arms or legs, he is a painter, is a swimmer, skydiver, and a motivational speaker. Next, Tom Cruise. Well, Tom Cruise is having a problem that is dyslexia. But still, he overcome this problem and became a famous celebrity. You all know about this guy. Now, with okay, thank you for your patience and listening to this topic.
Thank you, madam. So let me launch the poll first, then we will go into question answer. Yeah, so the poll is already in place. Request all faculty members, all family members to post their responses. Yeah, more than 50% members have already voted. We still have some time left. I request other members to vote fast. Okay, so let us close the poll here. So here is the result. As you can see, the query was, in general, do you think that person with disability receive equal opportunities in terms of employment? The results show that 40% strongly agree with the poll, 38% agrees with the poll, and 22% disagree with the poll. Ma'am, your inputs on this, on the results, and anything you want to add?
If I go through strongly agree, then in this technology world, person with disability have been able to excel in various fields such as academics, banking, and even law. Even those with a visual impairment have proven their skills and at handling computers, and some have want to be a good lawyers too. And many have been able to teach music, yoga, and also deliver lectures as professors. And those suffering from deafness can do very well in factories where noise may otherwise hinder the productivity of people with normal hearing. For instance, the hearing impaired can be good at cutting tiles, work like cutting tiles, and working at construction sites and factories. And if I go with disagree poll, then might be the reason is primary lack of awareness. Yes. In addition, India is not sufficiently equipped to handle persons with disabilities. Huh? And their mobility remains a huge challenge, right from the access to public transport to accessibility of the workplaces. And also, most are brought up by overprotective parents, but in doing so prevents them from becoming dependent. So most parents of especially children refuse to let go of them even when they turn adults. So mindset, if if I talk about the corporate sector, the mindset of co-workers harbor a mental block that a team member who is physically challenged will slow down the entire team. So the conclusions, simply having policies in place does not help in the upliftment and empowerment of the person with disability. The bitter truth is that not many persons with disability in our country have the confidence to even make the effort to try and gain an entry into the corporate world. So it's time to change all that, and friends, family, and well-wishers need to step in and give them the right push. That is so. According to me, it is 40-50.
All right, ma'am. So
Yes.
let us go into some of the queries. Shashwati Bormon madam is asking,
Yes.
how do you distinguish between disorder and disability? What is the boundary line between them?
So disability, like I said before, it is disability is a part of any physical disability. Like if, for example, let me give you an example that in mental retardation, person a child is having a abnormal brain growth, right? So he is unable to understand his IQ. Basically, his IQ is below 40. Normal, the IQ level is from 90 to 120. But mental retarded children having the IQ below 40. Okay. If it talk about a disorder is it is the means uh, it accomplish or it has disabilities also, it has syndrome also, it includes syndrome also, it includes many types of signs and symptoms, not any specific symptoms. So I think according to me, this is the sense.
Okay. Madam has another query, Shashwati Burman madam. Do you think that the child with a specific disorder needs special education similar to that provided to children with disabilities?
Sorry, sir, can you please repeat the question?
Yes. Do you think that the child with a specific disorder needs special education similar to that provided to children with disabilities?
Yes, sir. According to me, special education will give definitely good benefit to disordered child.
Right. And madam again asks, Shashwati Burman madam, ADHD or ADD and SLD, are these disorder or disability? What kind of special support are needed for children with ADHD and or SLD?
ADHD.
ADHD and
ADHD.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. ADHD means that attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Basically, it is a chronic condition which includes attention difficulty or hyperactivity and impulsiveness. So, with the help of special education and the physiotherapy, they are very active, very hyperactive, right? So, if we involve that child in activities like playing any co-curricular activities like playing games, playing cricket, or running or walking, then he will get at the end he will get tired, and that hyperactivity, which is the main reason for ADHD, it will come down. That level will come down. And next is SLD.
Yes, ma'am.
So
SLD.
SLD.
SLD. Yes, yes. SLD.
Okay, so SLD, I think specific learning disability. So learning disability, they have their mental level is okay, but bit slow compared to the normal person or normal child. Like I said before, that for example, if a child is having problem in reading the any specific words, like he will read dog as a god. Okay, if during play times, if I will tell him, SLB child, to catch a ball, then he will not able to calculate the distance of the ball, the size of the ball, and that is why specific learning disability and ADHD, these both terms are very different from each other. ADHD involves the behavior problem or behavior issues, and SLD involves the learning disability, not the behavior issues. Their behavior is normal, their brain development is normal but slow than the normal brain level. Okay? So I think my answer will clear this
Okay.
confusion.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your presentation. And thank you. And before we conclude, I have two things to announce. Today at IEM Gurukul campus, the vaccination for our IEM UEM family members vaccination drive has started. We are thankful to our Honorable Chancellor Sir, Madam, and Pro Vice Chancellor Sir for arranging this. So that is one. And second is at UEM Kolkata, the 2021 batch students have graduated. Their final semester results have been published in the last week, and as per the academic calendar, there has been not a single day delay, and majority of the students, they have already joined their workplaces, the corporate. So these are the two things we wanted to mention. And all of you kindly stay safe, stay healthy, and kindly get vaccinated as soon as possible. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your excellent presentation. And thanks to all the audience for their kind attention. We are closing the session for the day here. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye.